Hey folks, how are we? Now yesterday I showed you how to graft your citrus tree, to do a bud graft, a couple of styles, and a lot of you love that because you're going to give it a go, and I hope you succeed. You can graft onto the rootstock as well if you like. You don't have to do it to the side of the branch, but I thought let's elaborate a little bit more today on citrus. Now we did some grafting yesterday, or bud grafting. Today let's talk about a couple of diseases that really have affected our trees over the years, and we sort of got our heads around it, but not quite. And I think one of the diseases, one of the insects that attack citrus trees, and we've mentioned it in the past, and we're getting close into the season now for the cooler regions of Australia, is citrus gall wasp. Now, up north in Queensland, even South Australia, I know it's active a little bit earlier. We talk about prune your trees before August. Now, well, this is now July. Start pruning now if you want to take off all the affected branches. What I mean by affected branches are these lumps. You've probably seen them, and some of you still email and saying, what is going on with this branch and swelling on the tree? Well, what it is a little wasp. It comes and lays its egg on the underside of the bark there. It buries its eggs there, and they pupate down into the middle of the branch itself and start to grow and feed off the sap flow. So the reaction from the tree on that is the swelling. You'll see these lumps to develop, and it does slow the sap flow. It does put a lot of stress on the tree. Now, if left untreated, the tree over time will drop all its leaves and start to die back. It may flower and fruit as a last opportunity to survive, but ultimately, if left untreated, the tree will go backwards and you'll end up losing it. So what I want to do today is cut it open and show you inside. Now, I know many of you would have done this already, but let's have another go at it now in real time and have a look. We're going to cut it down the center with a secateur, like that. Now, I'm going to peel this back. Actually, before I do any of that, I'll put my glasses on. Now, normally you'll find little chambers inside the nest, which is where they live. It's like a little room. Here we are. They're like that there. There they are. They're just living in there like that, like a little nest. And they grow and emerge out of there when the warmer weather kicks in, so around 22 degrees and over. That's when they become active and they reinfest on young branches. Now, I mentioned pruning your tree back. Now, that's a good thing to do for the ones that are active still, like these ones here. Remove them and burn them. Don't put them in your green waste. All you're going to do is have them spread throughout the neighbourhoods into the green recycling plants, wherever they're composting and all that. They don't die off like that. You need to literally burn the branches in small bunches if you can as well. Now, by pruning the tree, you'll find the tree will go into growth spurt, and that attracts the insect again. So you're basically inviting the tree, getting rid of the old ones and almost inviting new ones when the new growth comes in. So you need to start spraying it with CGWS on the new branches. That's so vital to stop it from attacking again. Now, you don't actually have to prune off every branch on the tree. If your tree's a small one and there's literally nothing left of the tree, if you were to prune it, leave them on. Be sort of tactful as far as what you prune off. Leave what you want on the tree, but make sure you spray the tree to protect it as a shield of armour. CGWS is what you're going to use. It's the only product in the industry or in the market that actually works to control citrus gall wasp. The traps don't work. We're working on a new trap. It's not out yet, but the current traps in the industry or in the retail circulation really don't do much for the insect itself. Now, that's citrus gall wasp. The next one is scale. Now, if you've got a tree, and it's not just citrus trees, but even gardenias and flowering plants, but if you've got a citrus tree and it's got black sooty mold, it's quite common. This is what it would look like. Let me show you this one here, actually. See the black soot? Now, that's like a black powder developing on the leaves itself, and it eventually goes all along the stem. And now that suffocates. That sooty mold is the result from the excretion that comes out of an insect called scale. Now, scale isn't a moving insect like your typical aphids, whiteflies, thrips and that. It's actually a button-like insect. So what it has is a shell that sits over the top as a shield to protect it from predators. Now, where it sits on the plant is where it starts to suck sap off. It lives on the underside of the shell, and it draws the sap out and it releases this sweet nectar-like excretion which attracts the ants. So if you see ant movement on your plants, Doesn't matter if it's a lemon tree or a gardenia. If you see ant movement along your plants in the thousands, you know you've got scale. And especially if you start to notice black sooty mold, just like this here, are the two signs to tell you that your tree or plant has scale on it and you need to treat it. Now, scale comes in different colors, like the little buttons. If they're alive on the plant, all you need to do is go with the backside of your fingernail, and all you need to do with that is basically use the backside of your finger and press on the insect, on the actual button. If it's alive in a large enough size, because they come in different sizes, it will release blood. It'll be a liquid-like blood that comes out of it. So that's an active insect, so it's quite alive and causing damage to your plant. You need to spray it with an oil-based spray. You can get yourself eco oil, which is plant-based insecticide, great to use, and there is white oil, which I don't recommend because that's a petroleum-based oil, and it can cause burning on your plants. It's quite strong, but you know, the after effects and the side effects of that are no good for us or the environment. So make your own if you like as well. You can use olive oil from your kitchen pantry. So 1 teaspoon of olive oil in a litre of water with a couple of drops of dishwashing liquid. If you've got something natural, earth friendly, great, use some of that. Put it in so you can infuse the oil and the water together with the drops of dishwashing liquid. Shake it well, and the best way to apply it is with our easy hand sprayer, because you need to drench the plant. The bigger the plant, the more important that you have our easy hand sprayer with a double swivel nozzle on them, and it'll reach as far as you need to. Drench it and do it on a regular basis, every 7 to 10 days. 3 or 4 applications may be required to control it. Now, the sooty mold won't come off. It won't disappear off the plant. It will wash off over time and wear off, as weather does, to all things like paint. So the sooty mold, once you've destroyed the insect, the mold will disappear as well. But in the meantime, make sure you go out there, prune your plants, graft your citrus trees, spray them with CGWS and eco oil or your own homemade insecticide to protect them from scale, and more importantly, your citrus gall wasp, because that will destroy your tree no matter what you do if you don't spray it. From me, Vasily, Maresi.